So now what I'm doing is I'm actually recording this session on my computer as well. So I'll switch back to YouTube here. The reason why I'm doing that, the reason why I'm recording it, is YouTube live streaming is awesome, okay? And what it'll do is it'll automatically upload a video of the live stream to YouTube so you can watch it back later. But at the moment, with the way things are going with the internet, YouTube, like pretty much any kind of video conferencing system, has limited their bandwidth a little bit. So what you're probably seeing on your end is anywhere from a 480 to a 720p live stream. So the resolution isn't super high, though I'm sure when Daniel was 15 years old, that was amazing. But yeah, that res isn't super high, but that's a cap at the moment that YouTube and pretty much any live streaming system is doing right now. So we will deal with it and we'll go through. But I'm recording the video on my computer at a high res. So that means that we can watch this back later in a high res version. So I'll upload that manually, but YouTube will automatically do it. So that's pretty much it. So this session is, like I said, it's kind of it's really more of a test than anything. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of people drop on board, a lot of teachers anyway. If I do, great. If not, that is okay because you can watch it back later. It really is just a test for us to see what's going on. And tomorrow we'll be doing another session. And then on, Thursday, we'll be doing a master class, which is Photoshop, which I know we have some people signed up for at the moment. So this is just a bit of an intro to how this all works. So with YouTube live streaming, you're looking at my screen here as well. Feel free to say something in chat, maybe even just Robbie if you're out there, so I can see what is going on. So chat on the side is for people that are watching to be able to talk to me. As you can see, there's no face-to-face, so I don't see you, which I think is actually a good thing, especially when it comes down to bandwidth, and also because these sessions are designed to be training sessions, right? So they're designed for you to, I guess, spend more time watching me and watching my screen than me watching you. So it is that one way, but then the chat is there for you to ask questions. And like I said, because it's a 30-second odd delay, you can ask your question, and as I'm working through, it'll pop up on my screen and I can see it. So that's how that's going to work. A couple of other things that I've set up in here as well. Now, again, this is looking pretty boring to you, I suppose, because you're looking at my studio, so how this actually works, which I'm going to explain a little bit today. Not too much, because tomorrow's session is all about how OBS software works, so I'll explain that in a second. So with YouTube Live, you have a couple of options. I'm going to jump into another tab here. As I'm working through, it'll pop up. All right, so I can hear that, and I can see it. So that's that. So that's the video that you're watching back, and as you can see, the resolution isn't super high. But again, the recorded version I'm doing shall be, so that's okay. But that's what you're seeing. That's what viewers are going to be watching, okay? If you came to the Tech School from our homepage here, you obviously clicked on here. You can set a reminder. So with YouTube live streaming, it gives you a couple of options. When you click up here, obviously you can upload a video like you normally would to YouTube, or you can go live. And with Go Live, what that does is just by clicking that button, you're automatically streaming from your webcam, okay? So by default, YouTube Live is just webcam only, all right? So webcam on and microphone, obviously, and you're seeing that person. You can do it through a laptop, a computer, anything with a webcam. You can also do it on mobile devices like iPhones and Android phones. They do have a bit of a limitation on that, though. So if you want to use it on a mobile phone, which is actually super handy because you can do it anywhere, you do need to have 1,000 subscribers. I think it's just a way so people don't abuse the system. I'm hoping, and I'm looking into it, that there might be an education kind of loophole there, especially now, where maybe educational institutions could apply to get that lifted, if they've got a registered education account, so they can do it without needing that subscriber kind of base. But we'll see how we go. So there are your two options: going live on a mobile, on a laptop. And when you go live on a laptop, like I'm doing now, by default, it's just the webcam. But obviously, you can see I've got a lot more here. Like you're seeing my screen, I can share some other bits and pieces, and we're doing that through some OBS software, which is down here. So OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software. So I'm going to go through that tomorrow. But yeah, in case you have a play with YouTube live streaming, once you're done with this session and you're like, why can't I do all the things Daniel was doing? That's because I'm using that piece of software. So tune in tomorrow. Like I said, you can go to our homepage here on our YouTube channel. and you can set a reminder to actually see that. So you get a reminder for when it's starting, and that's going to go through more of the software, in depth. Okay, so yeah, so by default, that's what YouTube live streaming is. Why are we using it? Look, personally, I think one, it's a really rock solid platform. Yes, the res isn't super high right now, but that's everybody in the world. It's really fast, it's really simple, and really, really quick. You don't require any special hardware. You really don't require any special software, unless, of course, you want to do some of the things I'm doing today. But that's it. And in terms of the people that are viewing it, which, let's face it, are your students, they don't require anything special, which I think is more important, right? So they don't need any special hardware at all, anything that has an internet connection. And YouTube is pretty much everywhere, right? Like it's on laptops and phones and fridges, right? And TVs and all these places that students have more access to. So if your students don't have like a laptop or an iPad, right, which a lot of students don't, but they have access to a fairly recent TV, they might have YouTube on there, so they can watch us there, right? So that's why I really like it. I think it's going to open you up to more viewers, and especially your students, right? It's a little bit more universal, which is why I like it. The other thing that I really like about YouTube is, in terms of a live streaming platform, for you, those of you now that are being told to use WebEx or Cisco or Zoom or whatever, right? Like those softwares require logins and passwords and accounts, and they can be a bit overwhelming. YouTube doesn't require any of that. You can do that though. We can do passwords and we can make things private, which I'll talk about later. But by default, it doesn't need any of that. So super easy for people to access, which I think is important. Okay. And of course, finally, and I think the best one, and if we look at these smiling lads up here, students know how to use YouTube, right? Like your students probably use YouTube more than anybody, right? They know how to use it. They know how the platform works. They know how they just accept it, right? When videos come in and they subscribe and they watch videos, they know how to use that platform. So you are now, and I use this term a lot, right? Like you're becoming part of their distraction that's already there. Like they're on YouTube, they're looking at cat videos. I don't know, shout out Graham. But they're looking at that, and then one click or one tap on a little screen, and you're there, right? You're already in that space, and I think that is super, super powerful, right? And I think it's more powerful than getting them to jump onto Cisco or WebEx or whatever, right? Like that is a very, I don't know, school or meeting kind of environment. YouTube is not that, right? YouTube isn't that kind of environment, and good or bad, I think it's a good thing. I think it's nice and natural for them, especially in this time. It's a little bit uncertain, right? Like if you can get them to use something that they know and something that they've used before, and they're probably using this very second, I think you'll be all right. So that's my thinking behind YouTube live streaming. That's why we're kind of using it at the tech school, because I think it's going to have the biggest impact, the biggest reach, and the least, I guess you could say, friction to use it. So I might jump back across to my live streaming thing. So I can see I've got 2 viewers, yay. Excuse me. So that is kind of how it works. So you have a couple of options here. So you have your screen that you're seeing now. You have your homepage. So you can see if I scroll down to our Bendigo Tech School YouTube channel here, you can see I've already got some upcoming live streams. So you can schedule streams. So this one's for tomorrow, this one's for Thursday. So you can schedule them in advance, which I think is also super valuable. And it's very visual, isn't it? So again, those of you having to use WebEx or whatever right now, like it's a YouTube page. You go there, you see the videos, you click on them, and you can go. Now, if I click on, say, this one for tomorrow, obviously it's not ready, but you can see it's live in 23 hours. I can see the time. I can set a reminder. Okay, all these kind of things that, again, your students have done this a million times before. Okay, they know how to do this. They watch YouTube live streams all the time, right? They watch their favorite YouTubers doing this stuff. So this is not new to them. They know this. They could teach us how to do it. So there we go there. You'll also notice, if I click back onto that one for tomorrow, you'll also notice the chat is there as well. So what you can do with chat is you can actually have the chat running before the stream even starts. So I've got 23 hours. So people could populate chat right now with questions for the stream, right? So that's helpful for me. So I can kind of figure out what's going on. I can see who's in there. Now, before you mention it, so with chat's an option, right? Chat's an optional thing. All of the Bendigo Tech School YouTube streams are currently public. That's how we've got them listed. Okay, so I'll explain public and private later, but that's why there's chat. That's why chat is available to you. If you want to use it, you would have noticed that you actually do need to sign into a Google account. Okay, you need a Gmail account or any kind of Google account to use chat. Okay, which is good. It ties you to your name. I get a bit more accountability. All right. You can turn chat off though. You don't have to have it there. So if you're doing a session for your students, you don't have to have that chat there, but I think you definitely should, just to kind of get that back and forth. And obviously people in chat can see what other people are saying and they can respond to that as well. Now, like I said, this is a public stream, which means it's public. anyone can jump into it. Now, we've done that on purpose because obviously these are PD sessions. They're going out to our schools in Bendigo, but they're open to anyone to watch as well. So we don't mind that they're public. So what public means in those options is public means that, like I said, if you jump to our homepage, you can see the streams there. Okay, anyone can watch them, anyone at all, and anyone can use the chat as long as they have logged in. So that's a really good thing for that access. But let's just say you wanted to do this with your students, right? You just wanted it to have you and your class. You can do that as well. Okay, you can change it from a public stream to two other options. The other one is unlisted. Now, unlisted is what we'll probably use some of those later in the term. Unlisted allows you to have a stream that anyone can drop into. So you don't need passwords and those kind of things, but it creates a very unique URL. And again, you've probably done this before with YouTube. You get that unique URL. You can see it up here. Okay, so if I jump into, say, this video here and I go into share, that is the URL for this video. Now, this is a public stream, so anyone can see it. But if I had it as unlisted, no one would know it's there. It wouldn't appear on our homepage. It wouldn't appear in search. But if I gave people that link, okay, they could then go and watch it and go and see that video. So for teachers, it wants to set this up for their students with as little friction as possible, again, without needing to worry about accounts and logins. You could set up a live stream. You could schedule it for tomorrow. And then you can send all your students the unlisted link. And that way, when they click on that, they can see it. Okay, no one else can see it, only they can. And that link is almost like the password in itself. Okay, and so they can access it, and then they can use chat as well. So that is a way. Well, now we're seeing videos and videos. I'll get out of there. That is a way to, I guess, have a public stream, right? That's accessible to everybody, but only those people that you choose. Okay, so that's really, really helpful. Finally, there is a private stream. Now, private is really locked down. So with a private stream, it's not on your homepage. Okay, there is a link that you can send to people, but you set who can view it. So you can do that, with basically with emails. And you can say who's allowed to view your stream, who's allowed to have access to it. They need to basically log in to see your stream. So that's the most private of the lot, which you can set up as well. Again, we're not using that because I find it's more hoops to jump through, and we're quite public. So, but when you're dealing with students and when you're dealing with one-on-one, you might want to use those as well. So they're your three options when it comes to choosing a video. So that's that's where we're starting from the start, aren't we? So YouTube live streaming, that's the platform we're using. Like I said, it gets to as many people as possible. It's where your students are and they know how to use it. I guess 2 is how you're going to stream, either publicly, so anyone can see it and anyone can view it, unlisted, so you need to send the link to people to actually see, or private, where they can only get it if they have that video link. All right, so they're your 3 options for streaming. Once you've done that, you decide what you want to do, you start your stream. And so you'll see something similar to this. Okay, when you start your stream on your end, you'll see something similar to this. Okay, now I'll show you what we've got here. So up the top, we have our live video. Okay, and again, you can see there is that delay. You can see there's a little bit of delay from me talking. I'm waving my hand now, it's not happening, to when it's streaming live. You can see how many viewers you currently have. Okay, so how many viewers are watching this right now? All right. You can also go in and change things on the fly. If I hit edit here, hopefully I'm going to blow everything up. You can see there's my stream, there's my text. It's public, so I could switch that off if I wanted to. My thumbnail, so I can change that image. And also, if it's made for kids or not. So that's actually really important. That's what YouTube have to adhere to now. If it's made for kids, what will happen if it's made for kids is chat is disabled. Okay, so this video is not made for kids, it's made for teachers. So I have no on there. So chat is disabled if it's made for kids, and other things as well. Things like advertising and analytics and tracking and those kind of things are all disabled when you choose when you choose yes that it's made for kids. Everything is kind of disabled. So I believe kids it's 13 and up. I'll triple check that for you as well. So that's important as well. And once you've done all that, you hit save and ready to go. So I haven't done anything, so I'm just going to go back on there. The other thing that you've got down here is these are for my OBS software, which we're talking about tomorrow. So I'm not going to talk about those now. These options here enable DVR. So what that's doing, I've got it turned on now. What that is doing is, so it's 2:17. I've got 10 minutes more of my stream. If you've just jumped into the stream now, you'll jump into it at, 16:03, right? Or whatever time I'm up to. But if you want to watch it from the start, even though you've jumped in halfway through, you can do that. So with the DVR, what it's doing is it's recording and broadcasting the stream, but also kind of like backing it up, right? So you can scroll back and watch this from the start. So you don't have to miss out. So if you still want to watch it kind of live, you can. And that's what DVR is doing. That's allowing you to watch it live and going back. And the chat itself is also retroactive. So the chat, when you watch it, you're seeing the chat happening at that point in the video. Okay, so you're not kind of left out of the loop. So that's kind of cool as well. That's pretty much it. 360 video, if you want to do a 360 video, you can live stream that. At the tech school, we have what's called an Insta360 Pro 2. It looks like a Death Star. It's around 360 camera. So we can live stream from that. The difference being that instead of you just seeing me, you can see my entire office, but you can see like the entire school or the entire classroom. You can turn your head, you can move around, or you can kind of pan on the screen as well, and you can kind of turn around too. So if you're doing 360 video, that is very, very cool. And we might start doing some of those pretty soon as well. But that's what that is. So you have to turn that option on. Add a delay. So there's already about a 20 to 30 second delay by default in the way YouTube live streaming works. But you can add a longer delay to that if you want to. So you might want to have a minute delay or a 2 minute delay. I don't know why you want an extra delay. Maybe just to give you a bit more time to think before people ask questions, but you can do that as well. And that's pretty much it for the settings. I'm going to jump into analytics. All right, so now we can see what is happening kind of live. So we can see that I only have 2 viewers, but who me, I'm not very popular. I'm guessing one of those is Robbie. Hi, Robbie. We have 2 viewers. It's a busy day, I understand. But as more viewers kind of go up there, we'll see those. We can see when the viewers kind of drop in and drop off through the stream here as well. Our chat rate, it's very quiet in chat. No one's chatting to me. The chat rate is talking about that, and you'll actually see where people are chatting. Right, that'll come up there. And playbacks is, well, as we come here, playbacks is basically people kind of refreshing or loading the page. I guess at the moment with bandwidth, that can happen a fair bit. And then the average watch time you'll see is different from my actual live stream. So we're seeing the average watch time of people that are watching this as well. So that's kind of your analytics. You get a lot more analytics when the stream is finished, especially if we have more than 2 people. So when the stream is done, you'll get a huge, it's like 20 screens of analytics. And that will do things like it'll obviously tell you who watched it, where they watched it from, what part of the world, how long they watched it for. You can get a whole breakdown on these people, right? Because it's YouTube, and YouTube is Google. So you have the best analytics you could possibly get, which I think is really good for teachers, right? Like you can even see where the kids kind of dropped off your stream. Like maybe you can go back and make your stream shorter or a little bit more exciting at certain points. So you can see where kids drop off, where they come back in again. You can see other things that they were doing at the time. It's slightly creepy, which again is why those analytics are turned off when you say that it's for children. Okay, you don't get a lot of that stuff. So the analytics when you finish a stream is really, really good. And I think very helpful for us, and especially if you have to do any kind of reporting, you've got all that information there. Okay, so, and of course you can see some other stuff through there. Let's go to stream health. All right, so stream health, that's talking about the stream as it is, okay? So what we've got here is you can see I've actually got a few warnings coming through from YouTube, right? So I've started my stream. It's healthy, it's going back to 2 o'clock. I actually increased the bitrate of my stream. That means I made the resolution higher. I made the video quality better, hopefully giving you a better experience on your end. Technically, that 4,659 kps, that should be a 1080p stream or higher. But like I said, I believe YouTube is probably capping all their streams to 480p anyway, so that won't matter a great deal for us. The other thing I might do while I'm in here, I'm just going to Control plus this. There we go. All right. So what you can see there is I've just increased the resolution of my screen. Now I'm working from a laptop, so I don't have a huge amount of screen real estate. It would be best, I guess, to do a live stream if you're doing it from home from a larger screen, from a monitor, but my lovely Alienware monitor is at the tech school, so you can see more. So I've just increased the resolution of that screen to make the icons a bit bigger for everybody to see, and that's important to do as well if you're doing it on a smaller screen. But also, I guess, if you're doing something like with Photoshop I'll be showing on Thursday, it means I can increase the icons so you can see them better. So that's why we've done that. So the other warnings I'm getting through here, again, they're just generally telling me about my stream, telling me about the resolution. It's saying it's not optimal. Now that res is because I'm using my laptop screen and I'm doing a few other things, which is why it's coming up like that. But you'll get those kind of messages through there. And my stream status is generally good. Okay. If there are issues, if there are warnings, they'll pop up here. Things like bandwidth. I'm in Mount Macedon, and our bandwidth is actually pretty good here. So I'm doing okay. And I think if I look through my office window, Rafi is watching something on ABC Kids, so he's also hitting my bandwidth. But other than that, it's coming through fine. So that's really, really good there. And that's my stream health. Okay, so I only have a few more minutes to go. I told everyone I would keep these to half an hour stream, so I'm not going to take up too much time. All right, so that is pretty much it in terms of YouTube, like I said. So super simple. You can see I'm not using anything special. I'm just using YouTube. But I'll give you a brief overview of how you have my screen on here, how you're seeing my screen as well as seeing me. And that's what we're going to go into tomorrow for tomorrow's episode. But for now, I'll show you really, really quickly. So yeah, I will. Okay, here we go. So you can see I'm still recording, which is great. So I will upload that video, like I said, because YouTube is kind of capping that stream. I'm gonna do that. So what we have here is this is called OBS. Okay, so if we go back, I'm gonna jump back across here. Oops, let's go. I have too many screens now. I'll go here. So this is OBS. This is tomorrow. So Open Broadcaster Software. So what that does is that is a streaming software. So what that is doing is I'm using that as my platform for streaming to YouTube. I'm actually not using YouTube's live interface, okay? I'm still using all their tools because if we head back in here, let me go here. I've still got this YouTube software here, okay? But I'm using my broadcasting software to do a lot more work because I can do that. And that's what these things are down here, which again, I'll go over tomorrow, so don't stress about that. These here are kind of like the stream key is kind of like the, I guess, the password for your live streams, okay? And once I input that into my software here, my OBS software, which is free, by the way, we use a software called Streamlabs. This allows you to do a lot more. So this allows you to change all of your input devices and those kind of things as well. So instead of just using the webcam and a microphone that YouTube have set up, right, and they say that's what they're doing, I can do more. I can add as many sources as I want. So the reason why you're seeing a picture of me here is because I added that in as a source. So you can see here, if we go into video capture device, that's me down there. Okay, I can increase that. What? You don't want to see that. So that is one of my sources, and I can have as many sources as I like. So I've got one video capture device, which is me. I could have several cameras if I wanted to. You know, I could have cameras all around my house or the school. And then with a tap of a button, I can switch between those cameras. So you can see different sources. By clicking through here, you're changing through those sources, okay? I've got an image, which is what I've got just behind me there as well. Audio input device, which I'm using as my microphone. And then display capture. So you can see that's what is recording my screen. And so all of these sources are then getting, I guess, funneled to YouTube and its live streaming platform. Okay, so that's how I'm able to do all of this stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Okay, you can kind of do that all through here as well. So I'm just going to make sure that's kind of coming through. All right, so that's kind of how all of that is working. So I'm going to jump actually back into my live stream. I'm going to unmute that and its live streaming platform. Okay, so that's how I'm able to do all of this stuff that you. Cool. I just heard myself. I was just making sure everything was working okay there as well. Cool. So that's kind of how all of that really works, basically. So you can see my audio capture is working fine. Now I'm just going to see if I can mute that for a sec. There we go. And my audio input is still coming through. Good. Excellent. So I can kind of mute stuff so you don't always hear everything. All right. So that's kind of how that is working there. You've also got scenes. So scenes are things where you can set up stuff. I click on this. I said stream starting scene, which it wasn't, but I can have these different scenes. So a scene could be maybe a video of your introductions and that kind of stuff. But that's how this works. I'm going to stop talking about it now because I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow and how it works and how you set it up and how you set up streams. It is a little bit more complex, especially when it comes to scheduling streams and those kind of things as well. But it's super powerful and it allows you to do so much more. And that's how I'm showing my screen. So that's it. I'm nearly done. I'm going to head back here. We've been going for most of my time. I'm going to go back into my dashboard. All right, so that's basically YouTube live streaming. And that is the platform that, like I said, Bendigo Tech School will be using for all our upcoming streams. It's super simple. I'm sure it was super simple for you to watch. And that is the main platform we are going to be using. Now, again, there are other platforms out there, so especially our Bendigo Tech schools. If you want some help, of course, in those kind of things as well, please let us know. We'll help you out there. But yeah, that's live streaming. That's how it works. Chat was obviously very quiet. Thank you to my 2 current viewers that were watching. Everybody else, you can watch this later. But yes, it really was a bit of a test to see how it's going. So I'm going to end the stream now. And you won't see what happens when I end the stream because the stream has ended. But what will happen is when I end this stream, when I hit the end stream button, it will stop the stream. You will see that the stream has stopped. It'll still be sitting there because you can still watch it back. Okay. And then what YouTube will do is it will upload the video it recorded of this live session, and it will use the same link that the live stream used. So for those of you that maybe got our email or jumped on our webpage and saw we also had a direct link to the video, to the live stream, that is also the direct link to then watch the video that you're playing back, which is really handy. So it just means that, especially if you're doing unlisted streams, if you send your students a link to the live stream and they don't watch it, they're busy, they can click on that link anytime. You don't have to send them another link and watch the recorded playback as well. So that's kind of handy as well. So I'll see that. I'll also see a whole bunch of analytics of my 2 people. I'm not bitter. I'll see all my analytics there as well. And I can have a play and look at doing that. So that's it. So thank you for joining me today. And again, you can see it's rather impromptu as well. That's the thing I like about kind of YouTube live streaming is it just kind of like, I don't know, feels a little bit more personal. So I will see whomever tomorrow at 2 o'clock to talk more about OBS software. And then I know we've got a bunch more registrations for the masterclass, which is on Friday, which will be Photoshop. So that'll be a little bit different to this because you'll be actually, I guess, learning, right? This is a bit more of an overview. So with the Friday's Photoshop session, I'm going to be going through Photoshop and an introduction to Photoshop and how it works. So what I'll probably do is I'll minimize my little picture there because you don't need to see me for that, right? Like I'll minimize that down into the corner so that way you just see the screen and you can work while it's on. So again, even having if you're lucky enough to have a couple of monitors or maybe even use your phone or something like that, you can have the live stream going in the corner on a phone or on another screen and you can be working away, which is really good. And of course, with the live stream, you can pause it, right? So we had that DVR feature. So if you're watching Photoshop and you want to kind of go back and see what I talked about there, but you don't want to lose that live stream, you pause it, you go back, you watch it, and you keep on going. So anyway, lots of options. I am going to hit end stream now, and thank you very much for watching. See you later. See, I'm live for about 50 seconds. So welcome again. Welcome to the Bendigo Tech School. This is our very first YouTube in the actual YouTube. Excellent. All right. So now I am live. So welcome to first in chat as well. Get this ready for us. So bring this up a little bit. There we go. Tech School. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. A little bit. 2:02, so I'm a little bit late. we're using YouTube Studio, is that it's about a 30-second delay. So there's a 30-second delay from when I'm talking and doing stuff in the stream to when you see it. So that also happens in chat as well. So if I say something in chat, so I'm going to say something in chat now. So hi, everyone. Okay, and you'll probably see that in about 30 seconds. So I can see the delayed screen on my stream, which is a little bit confusing, but it's there. So I see I'm live for about 50 seconds. So welcome again. Welcome to the Bendigo Tech School. This is our very first YouTube live stream for Teacher PD. Now I know on a Tuesday afternoon, everyone's back. You're probably the last thing that you want to do is watch a video, and especially watch a PD video. But it's here. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump across here at the moment, and I'm also going to record this too. Okay. So now what I'm doing